Today, I'm going to be showing you how to assemble an Ar15 lower. These are the tools you will need, all of which can be found on our site at pewtools.com, link below. First, we're going to start out by grabbing our first parts tray, grabbing our pivot pin installer tool, pushing it through the opposite side of the lower, grabbing our detent spring, grabbing our detent, rotating it back, and with pressure on top of it, take it, push it through, pull out your pivot pin tool, and it's in place. Give it a few pushes and pulls to make sure it works. Then you will want to grab your mag release bar, put it through that hole, flip it over, grab your mag release spring, push that down, grab your mag release button. I like to take it all the way down to the anodize. Then, using my thumb, push it through. Then you will feel it hit your finger, and that's how you know you've made it all the way through. Next, you're going to grab your lower block. You can use the table, but it will damage your table. But the blocks will be on our website soon. Take it, put it in there like so. Grab your bolt catch roll pin and your punch. Get it started. Just one tap. Then grab your bolt catch plunger and bolt catch plunger spring and place it in that hole right there. Give it a few pushes to make sure it's doing what it should. Grab your bolt catch, and I like to line that hole up with the line of the roll pin. Then take your hammer, double check it to make sure it's good. Grab your bolt catch finishing punch. Just like that, make sure that it's flush. Still works, everything's good. Next, grab your trigger guard roll pin and roll pin punch. Press that, push it in until it snaps in. Go ahead and line up your trigger guard. Get your roll pin ready. Get it right there, and then tap her down. There you go. I'd like to take it just past the face. That way it's about equal on both sides. You're locked in and ready to go. Next, we will grab the rest of our parts and start by assembling the hammer and trigger to their trigger springs and hammer springs. First, we will grab our hammer spring. And I like to line it up just like that and kind of push it on there. And then pop that on that side, so it's sitting like that. And I like to give it a few little flicks to make sure it's still working. Grab your disconnect spring, and you should see a little cutout right there. Make sure it's working. Take it, line it up. Make sure it drops in your lower and springs. Grab your disconnect. Go ahead and get that started in there. Grab your trigger alignment tool. Go ahead and get that pushed down, just like that. Grab your trigger pin. Pop it through just like so. Next, you want to grab your hammer and your hammer spring. And I like to take it kind of like this and loop it up and on so it's sitting just like so. While we're at it, go ahead and get your hammer pin and your alignment tool ready. Making sure that the arms of the spring sit on top of the trigger bar. Go ahead and get it in there. Get it somewhat lined up and drop your alignment pin in. Grab your hammer pin. You can take your hammer and don't worry, she's gone. You can handle her rough. Then pop over to the other side. Make sure she's lined up. There you go. Now make sure she locks back. Now you want to make sure you don't let it fire up into here because you will crack your bolt catch and your actual lower, or you can. So with it cocked back like that, go ahead and grab your safety and drop it in the hole. I like to do it on safe just to make sure I don't accidentally pull the hammer and send it into my lower. And then go ahead and get out your pistol grip bolt, locking washer, safety detent, and safety detent spring. Go ahead and put your safety detent spring inside of your pistol grip. Go ahead and get your pistol grip screw or bolt onto your Allen wrench. Drop your safety detent inside the safety detent hole. And then take your pistol grip with the safety detent spring and line it up just like so. Now, I like to clamp it with both my fingers like that. Grab my already prepared Allen key. nice and tight. Go ahead and check your safety. Just make sure it works. From there, you will want to get out your buffer retainer and buffer retainer spring, along with your takedown pin and your takedown pin detent and takedown detent spring. Now, go ahead and get your buffer. You want to make sure your castle nut is on with the teeth facing towards the back, and with the end plate with that little notch facing the front. Now go ahead and get started. So now I like to take it to where that lip is just about to cross over that hole. Go ahead and assemble your buffer retainer to the buffer retainer spring, placing it in that hole. And then get it lined up to where it's just like that. Go ahead and take your takedown pin, place it in the hole, your takedown pin detent, right inside of there, detent spring to follow. Then I like to crank that down to keep some pressure on your end plate. Now it's a little tricky, just don't get frustrated. Then, for the sake of the video, we're just getting this hand tight. Go ahead and pop out your takedown pin. Make sure that's seated correctly, along with your pivot pin. Make sure that's seated. Go ahead and give it a few checks. And that is how you assemble an Ar15 lower receiver.
This is so far behind.
Yeah, this is off by way over a minute. Like, look, you're still doing the